Hey, what's up guys? Imagine getting reincarnated into a dating sim where you're actually the hidden final boss, destined to be defeated by the protagonist. You try to live a quiet life, however, on the first day of the academy, you're forced to reveal in front of all the students that you've reached the max level, 99. With that, and causing a commotion with your dark magic, the main character now has her sights set on you. This is the fun, wacky, exciting story of Villainess level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. If you're new to the series, you can catch up by watching every previous part in this playlist here, link in the description. But otherwise, let's get started and watch the story unfold. The day begins with Alicia and her companions training, displaying their level increases. She was able to get a new staff with all the magic stones she sold the other day. In the academy halls in the evening, a man from the kingdom's magic tool development team invites Yumiella to assist with an experiment. He pulls out their latest model of magic sealing shackles for Yumiella to test, and he wants to see if they can hold Yumiella's magic. She gradually raises her magic and it seems she can't use it at all. The man then calls his cronies. Oh no, they're looking to kill her and escape. He's not from the kingdom's magic tool development team. How could she fall for it so easily? But it doesn't matter. Yumiella easily breaks the shackle chains because her physical strength is also level 99. The man and his goons then switch gears nervously, telling her, oh, it's just a joke, it's just a prank. We appreciate your assistance with the experiment. But that doesn't fly with Yumiella, and the men get taken away. Principal Ronald remarks that those guys are pretty stupid, going after the strongest mage in this country. They don't know the identity of those men or where they're from, but Ronald warns her to be cautious, as someone from the school must have led them there. 2 nights later, another assassination attempt on Yumiella's life. However, when the assassin strikes, he realizes his dagger is bent. Then, with Yumiella awake, he freaks out. Sitting with Patrick in the afternoon, she warns him to stay away from her since she's been nearly assassinated twice now. But would it kill you to like this video and subscribe to my channel? Here at My Shoujo Weekly, I got plenty of fun stories like this one. But to share more and keep my channel alive, I need you to subscribe. Patrick is worried though, not about her dying, after all, she's the strongest. He's worried they don't know the identity of the person targeting her. Yumiella realizes the truth in his words. Somewhere deep inside, she might feel a little hurt, but the way it felt when she was attacked, it's all familiar to her somehow. She suddenly realizes those guys gave her the same feeling as when she was hunting monsters. I mean, it's kill or be killed when fighting monsters, right? Then arrows suddenly fly their way and Yumiella quickly catches them. She tells Patrick to hide as she hunts down the assailant. She's mad. Targeting her alone is one thing, but if he'd hit Patrick, death would have been the proper answer. Later, Yumiella decides to stroll out in town, because staying at school she'd be putting the other students in danger. She notices children fighting with sticks, with one pretending to be the demon lord and the others being the heroes. She notices a boy with dark hair who seems left out. It is unfortunate that people in this kingdom are detested for having black hair, something Yumiella is all too familiar with. People doubted her level and even spread rumors that she was the demon lord. At that point, she began to believe it was about more than just her hair. She goes up to the boy and learns that he's not being excluded, he's just self-conscious about his hair color. So Yumiella shows him her hair that is as black as the night. But regardless, she still has friends, and has been finding more people she can talk to. Everyone avoided her at first, but little by little, the distance has been closing. The boy thinks that's cool, however, he doesn't have the guts to make friends himself. Yumiella then tells him that people came to her, luckily, as she had almost given up on getting close to anyone, but thinks maybe if she had approached people herself, it wouldn't have taken so long. Some rough-looking men appear, specifically looking for Yumiella Dolkness. She takes the boy to a safe distance as the men brandish their weapons. When the men come to attack, she traps them in dark bind, and all the boys watching think she's so cool. She tries to ask who sent the men, but they just say they have no idea, as the guy who paid them hid his face. Yumiella isn't done questioning though, as she takes the men into a back alley. Back in her room, Yumiella details having threatened the men, but they really didn't seem to know anything. Looking at her tea, Yumiella notices something, and asks Rita if the leaves were different than usual. She offered Rita to taste it, but Rita falls, begging Yumiella for forgiveness. Yumiella could tell the tea was poisoned, However, Rita felt no choice as they'd taken her little sister hostage. One dose in the poison would have been lethal, so Rita used 5. She's also the one who led the assailants to the academy. It was directed by the master, Yumiella's father, Count Dolkness. Yumiella figured that was a possibility. She learns Rita's sister works at the Count's mansion in the capital, so Yumiella is gonna go rescue her. The two take flight on Ryu, so Rita can lead Yumiella to the Dolkness manor. They find Rita's sister, Sarah, who's glad to see them, but she doesn't seem aware that she was being held hostage. With that, Rita swears her life to serve Yumiella. But Yumiella isn't done with this place yet. She enters a room, telling a couple good evening. As they question who she is, they're surprised to find out she's their daughter. The same daughter they tried to use for a political marriage and then kill. Now meeting them though, Yumiella learns she doesn't actually detest them that much. They're certainly not the greatest parents, but if they'd spoiled her in her childhood, she wouldn't be who she is today. The Count is upset that those losers failed despite paying them tons of money. He admits attempting on Yumiella's life because she betrayed them. He accuses her of working with the king's faction to prepare for war, that she stole the plan the anti-king faction came up with. They've been deeply ashamed because Yumiella took the enemy's side. Yumiella didn't know what was going on at first, but now she understands. The kingdom is preparing its military for the Demon Lord's invasion. The extremists must have been mistaken that as preparation for war with another country, since the Demon Lord's return is still a secret. The anti-king faction feared the dispatch of troops were to empower the king's faction, and with the king taking a liking to Yumiella, along with her refusing all proposals from the anti-king faction, only furthered this. Her parents thought assassinating her was better than handing her over to the enemy. Yumiella explains there is no war with another nation, and she doesn't plan on taking part in a war either. Her father gets upset hearing that, because if she earned fame in battle, the Dolkness family would earn a central position. Her parents don't want to be ridiculed as wannabe central nobles anymore. Yumiella asks why they don't just return to their domain. It might be a better idea for him to take care of where their people are. However, he refuses, having left an administrator in charge of it, believing all they need to do is collect taxes there. Plus, her mother hates the idea of living in the countryside, and hates that she had to have a child with black hair. Yumiella realizes these two are hopeless, both as nobles and as humans. She tells her father to yield her title to her. He can refuse, but were he to die, she'd become Countess anyways. Count Dolkness calls the guards, but Yumiella reminds him there isn't a single guard that could best her. He scolds her for threatening him. However, Yumiella isn't going to listen to a man who sent assassins after his own child. She summons her black hole and asks them to choose now, house arrest or honorable death. She doesn't really intend to kill them, but continues her threats. So, her father yields, begging for his life. Later, speaking with the king, he asks Yumiella why she wanted to take over her domain. She answers that she wanted to put an end to discrimination on those with black hair, and felt it would be best to do so from a very visible position. She knows it might not happen right away, but she'd like for it to lessen, much like how Prince Edwin had lessened his discrimination of her. Sitting with Patrick, she expresses how she learned she doesn't have it in her to kill someone. This warms Patrick's heart. She spared her parents and even captured the assassins instead of killing them. Patrick is impressed she took up the role of Countess. She explains she felt inspired all because of a boy, and hearing Yumiella mention a boy freaks Patrick out. She clears the misconception by explaining it's a 10-year-old boy who felt inferior because of his black hair. With Patrick relieved, Yumiella tells him she wants to change society for the better, and he agrees to do what he can to help her. So, Yumiella needs Patrick to stay by her side, since she needs someone to inform her about the world, and she also needs to start thinking about a successor, making Patrick blush, reiterating successor. So she asks him if he'd like to be her adopted son? This definitely stunlocks Patrick. With him being a second son, Yumiella believes he doesn't need to inherit his household. He shouts that she's not adopting him. Oh man, Yumiella doesn't get how Patrick feels at all. She just thinks it'd be nice if they became family. Oh, she promises not to pick on Patrick's future wife or anything. Yeah, that must be what he's worried about. But of course it isn't Yumiella. The seasons changed and the time of the harvest came. The Kingdom of Valschein's Foundation Day festival was held, where the king announced the impending return of the Demon Lord, and that they've already made preparations to combat him. Knight Captain Adolf will serve as the army's supreme commander against the monsters, and Prince Edwin will lead a small, elite force to fight and defeat the Demon Lord. That night, Yumiella reflects on her time to take center stage, hoping this lessens the discrimination on those with black hair even just a little bit. Patrick meets her, surprising Yumiella with the fact that he's made it to level 60 and can see from far away distances now. This puts him at the same strength as Captain Adolf. Yumiella now knows what he's been doing after school, going into dungeons whenever he had time, using an amulet of growth. With Yumiella concerned since without a protection one, he would have been in danger. She knows she suggested a growth amulet for better EXP, but if anything happened to him, Patrick feels the same way every time she does something reckless. She apologizes, telling him she'll try to be less reckless from now on, but isn't quite sure what she's done that is reckless. Patrick then asks if he can join the Demon Lord fighting unit, but she denies him as his strengths would be better utilized in large group combat. He's better at fighting against the army of monsters, so he accepts. She then asks him why he was in such a hurry to raise his level, and he responds it was to become stronger than her. But why? Was losing to her in class all the time so upsetting? He then recalls the time the guy had asked her to dance at the end of school year party, when she told the guy she's only into men who are stronger than her. She was flabbergasted. She explains it was just an excuse to turn the guy down. She doesn't actually feel that way. Patrick figured that was the case, but felt that if he wanted to be by her side, he needed to be strong enough. Yumiella then says they should play rock, paper, scissors. However, he's not sure where this is coming from, and it's so dark he can't even tell who won. She tells him he did, even though we could see he didn't. He must be right. She really does like people who are stronger than her. Patrick then grabs her shoulders and they go for a kiss as the fireworks boom. Yumiella wonders if Patrick had lied about it being too dark to see. With the new school year beginning, the invasion by the Demon Lord's monster army was confirmed. High-level students from the Royal Academy were chosen to join the military. They were more than expected, most likely because everyone had been leveling so efficiently. And Edwin's force headed directly for the Demon Lord's stronghold, with the final battle about to commence. Wow, what a crazy turn of events in this episode. Yumiella is now the Countess, Patrick finally confessed his feelings, and they're about to go to war with the Demon Lord. Find out what happens next on the last episode of Villainess Level 99 by subscribing to my channel. For now though, watch this next video. It's me, ComfyTea. I'll see you all in the next one.